This is a revised version of Activity 1, a number line. What do you notice and wonder about that number line? From Lesson 1, Number Puzzles, and Unit 4, Linear Equations and Linear Systems. So here is a series of arrows in this arrow diagram. And the first thing that I notice is an addition problem. So there are three addends. It's -4, a +7, and a +9. And you add those three addends together and you end up with a +12. So from 0 to +12 is the sum. And that's why there is a point at +12. So that is the sum of this problem. So a series of addends, and I included 0 here, but the addends actually are -4, a +7, and a +9. You always start at 0, and to get to that first addend, it's 0 to -4, and you end up at +12. The second thing that I notice are some subtraction problems. First, looking at subtraction as the difference, and this is what's covered in the background, and this is the subject of Unit 5 in 7th grade. So looking at subtraction as the difference between two numbers, in this case, the difference between +12 and -4. How far are they apart on a number line? And so if +12 is the sum, -4 is the first addend as described in the background video. So you're going to start at -4, that's the first addend, and you're going to go to +12, that's the sum. So from -4 to +12 is a +16 units. So the second addend would be these two addends combined from -4 all the way up here to +12. That is a +16 units. Because the arrow is moving to the right, so it's positive, and the second and third addends combined to equal that +16. So the distance is the absolute value of those second and third addends, so 16 units, and the direction is positive. So the sign of that 16 is an arrow to the right. It's positive. Now another subtraction problem shown here is what's the difference between +12, again the sum, and +3. Well, the second addend would be this +9. So that answer is +9. It's 9 units from 3 to 12. So what's the difference between +12 and +3? It's those +9 units. 9 units is the distance, and it's positive because it's an arrow to the right. And finally, what's the difference between +12 and 0? Well, it's +12 units. So the first addend is 0, and the second addend is +12. So how far is 12 away from 0? It's a +12 units. So it's this arrow from 0 to +12. The distance is 12 units, and the direction is to the right, so it's +12. And finally, I noticed that you can retrace your steps from this +12 back to 0. And this is the basis of algebra that you're going to do in the future. You're going to oftentimes retrace your steps to get back to the value of what x is, or the unknown is, in the problem. Now this is a different model. Instead of the difference, this is a takeaway model. So I'm at +12. I'm going to subtract, or I'm going to take away these 9 units. And where do I end up? I end up at +3. So it's not the difference, it's taking a value away. So now I'm at +3. If I take away these +7 units, a +3 minus a +7, I'm going to end up at -4. And finally, if I take away these -4 units, I'm going to end up at 0. So a -4 minus a -4 equals 0. And one last thing to note is that this -4 minus a -4, to get back to 0, you can change this to addition. So using the inverse operation and using the additive inverse of -4, which is +4, you get back to 0. So whenever you take a value and you add its additive inverse, in this case +4, it equals 0. So an addition problem is series of add-ins, subtraction as the difference, how far are values apart on a number line, and subtraction as taking units away. That's the takeaway model of subtraction.